Hey VIPs, I've got 3 cards for you today. 3 cards! So each of them has kind of a cool technique to it, and each of them features a bow of ribbon. So I want to show you, there's actually a whole bunch of tips and tricks for each of these, and I want to show you how to make some really simple cards using these awesome ribbons that Stampin' Up! Carries. So let's start with our Easter card. It's really simple. I am using the daisy paper. Oh, my mind is blank. I can't think. All of the supplies I'm using are on my blog post for each of these cards, so you can check that out. But this is super easy. I just cut a piece of my DSP, and I'm going to mount it to a layer of Pear Pizzazz cardstock because it's pretty. And then I have die cut the second to largest stitched shape square. So I die cut that, and I'm going to stamp this with crumb cake. I'm using the Hello Easter stamp set that's in the Occasions catalog. Such a cute set. I made a really cute Easter basket on my blog a week or so ago. So you got to check that out. So I'm just going to stamp that bunny on here in crumb cake ink, and then there's a bunch of little pieces in the stamp set which I love, and I'm going to take and stamp a few of them on here to kind of just jazz it up a little bit. Of course my stamps seem to have disappeared. So here's one. Where did my other one go? Ah, here we go. So I'll take a little I need my Pear Pizzazz. Sorry, all my colors are all in wrong places. Okay, so I've got a little Pear Pizzazz, and what I'm going to do is stamp kind of some greenery just so that this Easter bunny is not like sitting by itself. It's got a little greenery underneath it. There's no grass image in this stamp set, but I think this sort of constitutes greenery, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say by this, but I'm just filling in a little green space. Now we're going to cover most of this up with a Happy Easter, but I just wanted to fill that space up a little bit with some stamping. Then I'm going to take these cute little flowery whatever sprinkles and just stamp them around my bunny just to kind of fill in that white space on here. And I'm sort of turning them in all different directions so it doesn't look like they're, you know, aligned or anything like that. So there we go. There's that. So there's my bunny. I've got just a little scrap of white cardstock left over from trimming out my cardstock, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment from this Hello Easter stamp set. It's a really cute font. I like the font a lot. And it's just happy. We'll stamp it on one end here. So this is in Wisteria Wonder to coordinate with the cardstock. All this stuff coordinates. You know how I love coordination. And then I will punch the ends with my triple banner punch. Because you know I also love me a good banner end on my cardstock. All right. There we go. So now let's put the card together because it's really easy, and then we'll add our bow. So first off, I'm going to take and pop up my printed paper layer onto my card because I just think that makes it look fancy, and I like it. Who doesn't like it fancy, right? And then we'll take and add our stitched framelit popped up as well. Okay. So, you know I go through a lot of dimensionals. It's all good. All good. You should use a lot of dimensionals too. I mean, they're inexpensive and they're awesome. Okay, so we put that on our card. Then I'm going to put a little snail on the, or whatever this is, Fast Fuse, right there, and then attach my sentiment like so. And then to dress this card up, I'm just going to use a little ribbon. In this case, I've got some Pear Pizzazz shimmer ribbon. So as you saw in the video, I'm going to do my one loop method of tying a bow, which is what I typically do on my videos and on my projects. And I kind of go back and forth till I'm happy with the bow I've got. That looks pretty good. I kind of set it on there and just eyeball it like, do I like the look of this bow? And if I do, then I go ahead and stick it down. Now you can attach this with all kinds of different things. I'm going to use Fast Fuse because it's handy and it's easy. And I think Fast Fuse actually works fairly well to tie or to adhere bows down. Glue dots work well also. So there's my card. Okay, that one was really quick and easy. My next card is really cool. It is also pretty quick and easy. There's one cool little technique that I'm going to show you on this one, and that is, and actually the technique is in the bow, but I'll show it to you when it's time for the bow because I want to explain to you how I got to that technique. All right, so I'm going to combine two things that I've been waiting to put together, and that is the Jar of Love stamp set with the Lots of Lavender stamp set. So you probably know Lots of Lavender is one of the celebration choices this year, and I love Jar of Love. I haven't pulled it out in a little while, so I was excited to finally put this together because I'd been thinking about it since I've saw the celebration options for this year. So I'll start by stamping my medium-sized jar towards the bottom here. I'll add to it some water at the bottom in my Pool Party ink. And the water stamp is part of that Jar of Love set. Boom. Then I'm going to take and stamp my outline of my lavender in Basic Gray ink as well. Now on here, I really want the bow to kind of be in the jar so that I can cover it with the bow, or with the bow. So I'm going to cover a stamp bow with an actual bow. So I'm positioning it so that the bow is along the jar. Oh my gosh, words are really hard today. So that I can cover that part up. Okay, so there we go. Looks good. Next, I'll take my lavender and ink it up with Wisteria Wonder. So this is like the solid image. And I'll stamp it right over the top as intended. I'm going to pick it up and stamp it a couple more times to just sort of fill this out a little bit, and that sort of fills up my lavender just a little touch. Okay, then there are 3 images that I want to ink in green. I've got this leafy image that lines up right here, so I'm going to set it down just like so. I've got the second leafy image which lines up with these 2 right here. I'm going to set that down as well. The trick is to set it down without it sticking to your fingers. It's kind of the trick on a lot of things. And then I have third, the little ends of the branch that lines up right here. So I've got all 3 of these sitting down. I'm going to pick all 3 of them up at once with one block, and then I can ink them at once. This is particularly helpful if you stamp more than one of these cards. So then I just stamp this like so. Okay, so there I've got all of them at one shot. And then I also want to add my sentiment in Basic Gray, and that is also from the stamp set, Hello. Okay, now the rest of this card is nothing more than embellishing. We're going to embellish 2 things. First, we're going to do our bow, because the bow's cute and I like the bow. Now when I did this, I looked at my card as it is right now and I thought, you know, it's kind of flat. Like there's not a lot of punch to it. So I wanted to add a little punch to it. So I first started by putting a bow down like we did on the Easter card with the shimmer ribbon, but it still was pretty flat on here. And so I thought we need a little something more. What else can we do? So then I thought, ooh, what if I pulled out my metallic edged ribbon, because that has some shine and sheen to it, you can see. And so what I did was I tied a bow like so, just like always, boom, boom. And then I cut the ribbon off, in this case, undid the bow, and then I pulled out, wait for it, my Stampin' Blend. So this is the light Old Olive Stampin' Blend. And I'm just going to color on here, going across. And what's wonderful about this is, first of all, it absorbs and kind of spreads through this particular ribbon really well. I did try it with one other ribbon and the results weren't quite as impressive, but this one worked really well. It's not completely even, but actually I kind of like it about that. It's almost like I've created watercolor ribbon, which is really cool. Okay, then I'm not allowing this to dry. It's still, I can feel it's a little damp in my hands, but I'm not going to wait for it to dry. But it'll be quick because this alcohol ink, so it dries pretty quick. I'm making my bow again, just like before. Oh, wait, sorry. One more step. Aha, I almost forgot it. Okay, I want to add a little piece of lace to give this kind of a shabby chic look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my bow making process. I've made my one loop, okay? And then I'm going to bring my second loop around. I'm going to tuck this on the back side of my first loop. Okay, so it's just in there like so. And then I'll continue the process exactly how I've been doing it, tucking that in. So that basically all that I have here is a bow with a piece of ribbon on the back side of it. Okay, and that will all make sense here. Just give me one more second to kind of finagle this. By the way, I like using the word finagle. So you can see that that ribbon is just held in back of this bow. So it's perfect. I love it. And it kind of widens my ribbon a little bit, and I'm going to trim the ends to be a little longer and at the opposing angle. And then it just kind of has created a little fuller bow, if you will, for me. You can do this with the same ribbon itself, you know, and just add an extra hunk in there if you want, but I like the contrasting ribbon. I think it's kind of fun. So again, I'll adhere this with some Fast Fuse to my card, and it covers up the bow that's on the stamped image really well. And to finish this card off, all I'm going to do is mount it to a layer of Pool Party and then attach it to my Pear Pizzazz card. So that's really easy. Really a fun card. Now I have one other embellishment on here. I'm not going to take the time to do it, but it is, I added some sequins. These are from the Iridescent sequins, and I just attached them with my fine tip glue. Okay, so I just put some dots of glue down and then attached those little sequins on there to, again, give it a little more shimmer so it wasn't flat. So I've got the shimmer in the ribbon, the shimmer in the sequins, and everybody's happy. Okay, I'll quick throw this on here just so it's done. Now my third card and final card is another card I really like, but I have kind of a different version of it for our video, and you'll have to tell me which one you like. I have not made it yet, but it was just an idea I thought of when I was cutting the cardstock for this video. I thought, what if we changed it up a little bit? And then again, we can decide whether or not we like it. Okay, so I'll set those aside. This one is this card right here. I love the black, white, pop of pink, and the pop of whatever this color paper is. Lemon Lime Twist. So I've got my paper cut for this, but I cut white cardstock instead of crumb cake. And I hope you guys are going to like it. So let's make this. I'm going to start with folding my card base, which again, we're making white instead of crumb cake. Okay, so there we go. Then I've got my layer of Whisper White. This I'm going to stamp with my marbled background in Lemon Lime Twist ink instead of crumb cake ink. So let me grab my ink pad. And hopefully, now my big question is this going to look awesome or a little too much? So I'm not sure. So we'll find out. So you can tell me. Don't hold back. I can handle it. Let me know what you think. But I'm going to set that on there. And then I'll use one of my blocks as I like to call this a rubber. It rubs the ink on here. I'm just holding my cardstock in place so it doesn't move around when I do that, by the way. And woo! That is bright. What if we tried it once more? stamped off. So I'm just going to throw another piece of cardstock on here. This one will be lighter because we've stamped off a layer of the ink, and we'll see what that looks like. Ooh, interesting. How do we choose? Okay, so these are our two options. We'll see what we end up going with. Okay, so next I've got my black layer because my card is going to have a black layer on here. And from that black layer, I die cut one of the leafy branches from this, and we're going to cover this up so it's all good. I don't know, I'm thinking the lighter, but I don't know. We don't have to commit quite yet. So it'll go on there like that. So let's hold out and see what we're going to do. I also cut and I wrote it down, 2.5 by 4 3/4 inch piece of printed paper. And I cut this and then I started making the card. I'm like, no, I got to wait for the video. So I trimmed off a little corner to form a tag, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I'll just line these up, and then I'll have even hunks cut off for my tag. And then I'll punch. Well, actually, you could punch. I don't think I'm even going to bother. You could punch a hole for the actual tag, but I'm not even going to bother doing that. Gosh. Let me try one other thing, because I don't know if I like this. What if this is experimentation at its best, right? I'm going to ink this up again, and part of the problem is I just re-inked my ink pad. It's very juicy with ink. So what if I took my scrap paper, stamped off a little bit of ink. Ooh, I didn't get it even though. We'll keep trying until we get this right. So I'm going to stamp off some ink, and then I'll stamp it on my cardstock. When you do it this way, you tend to get rid of less ink, so there's still a lot of ink left on the stamp. Let's see how this works. So this should be in between the two. Not really. Dang it. It is in between the two, but there's kind of this dark spot and I don't like it. Okay, I think we're going to have to go with the more subtle one though. All right. This isn't panning out quite the way I intended. That's what happens when you experiment. Okay, so I'm going to take my tag and adhere it to my layer. Like so. And then I'm going to take and add my branch. I'm not actually going to adhere it quite yet, but my branch is going to go right there. I'll take and punch 2 daisies out of my Melon Mambo cardstock. All right. Then I'll adhere these offset to one another. Like so. I'll give them just a little curl on the petals because I want them to look pretty and dimensional. Okay. This will go under here like I mentioned, but I'm going to rip off probably that much just because I don't need it and it will stick out otherwise. All right. Now what if we changed it up just a little more and this time we put, ooh, this could work. So I'm trying to kind of also do this so you see sort of the process by which cards are made and sort of my process that I go through to conjure up these ideas. They don't always go exactly as planned, so I think that's a good lesson. There we go. So I love the Lemon Lime Twist in Black is for sure the best. And then I like this punch of hot pink in there. I think that's a fun touch. Okay, Next, I need a circle punch. Got my 1/2-inch circle punch, and I'm going to punch that out of Lemon Lime Twist ink, cardstock. Hold on, I gotta grab it. Scrap. Okay. So this is going to be for the center, and I'm just going to kind of wiggle it around so it's not solid. It's just a little worn. Just a little detail I like. I'll attach that with a glue dot to the center here, and then I'm going to add a clear faceted gem. I think these are so pretty. So I think I'm going to go with a big one. Channeling my inner Michael Scott. That's what she said. I know, I'm so terrible. Okay. So we'll put that right in the middle there, and oh, it's looking cute. So I'm going to tack this branch down with a little bit of Fast Fuse. Again, we'll cover that up with our adorable flower. And you know what? This is supposed to be up a little higher, but I'm probably committed, so we're just going to change where the sentiment is. And I probably need to put a little on here as well, just to ensure that it's stuck down nicely. There we go. I will adhere this to here. Ooh, and I want to trim this down so that the strip around the edge is pretty skinny. So give me 1 second. Okay, there. Now to tie everything together, we're going to put the bow at the top, and the bow uses the beautiful ombre Lemon Lime Twist ribbon, which is one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, I have gone through several rolls of this ribbon. It's so pretty, and it also ties wonderfully, which I love. So again, same method here. Go back and forth till we're happy with our bow. That looks good. We'll stick it on. And I'll use a little Fast Fuse on here to adhere my bow. Now the last thing I need for my card is the sentiment, which is Best Wishes from the stamp set Petal Palette. Of course, it's out of my reach. Hold on. There we go. I got it. And Petal Palette is a class I'm just actually finished up the projects for today. That's an online class I have coming up, and oh my gosh, I love them. Holy buckets. I've got tons of samples for this online class because I really like this set a lot. And so I kind of had a hard time picking, so I just kept making cards. I also did a swap with some other demonstrators using this stamp set, and I got some fantastic projects in that swap, so I'm very pleased with it. We'll just add our sentiment right here, and that's our card. Now, which one do you like better? They're kind of different. I think I like the crumb cake better. I don't know. You tell me what you think. I want to hear. So I hope you've enjoyed this video with these 3 fabulous cards, and that you are ready to tackle bows, guys. Thank you so much for being a VIP. I really appreciate your business and having you a part of our wonderful community of stampers. You guys are the best, and I stamp for you every day. So thank you guys so much. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye.